Hello, this is Caleb with Garden Sewer Service. I'm at 9860 West 59th, otherwise known as the Academy, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym. Right now, excuse the noise. They are doing, some practicing, some music playing in the background. So, I'm going to kind of go over everything verbally. I'll put some of this in the invoice as well, so you can read it. But I did some information gathering, and I've talked to multiple tenants. The jiu-jitsu place, the barbershop next door, the plumbing company with the ladies next door, spoke to them. Then I was not able to get into the vacant autism unit, and then the next door unit, the ladies in the plumbing company had access, so I went in there as well. Talked to everybody, and what I've discussed with everybody, as far as I know, the farthest unit next to the autism center, the autism center, and the plumbing company have not had any plumbing issues at any time in the past few years related to backups. The salon, I talked to them pretty extensively, and when the other guys were here the last there's two visits from another company the last 2 weeks, they were having problems with one of their sinks, and then they were having another problem with water seeping from the backup from here over to that unit, but their floor drain next to the water heater and their bathroom was fine. They were able to use that, and the guys let them use that while they were doing work, but the sink next to their chairs was contributing to the problem. So, the backup that they had 2 weeks ago, or the last two times in the last 2 weeks, had to be somewhere in between, the block had to be somewhere in the salon, essentially, and it wasn't farther down this way. So, the ladies, I spoke to the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu manager, and she was telling me that she's been here 6 years, and they've had a backup probably once a year up until about 4, 5, 6 months ago. And then it seems like they've been here like once a month they've had a backup. So, looking around, I have noticed a couple things. One, as you can see, my camera is 60 feet into the drain from where I am in the utility closet. So the line turns a lot. There's a lot of turns in this line. I can't actually get my camera to go any further than where I'm at right now, where we're looking at. What we're looking at is cast iron, 4-inch cast iron drain. And because of the turns and the distance, I cannot push the camera further. So the block was not out to here. The block had to be more upstream, otherwise we would have the plumbing company would have backups, as well as the autism center, and they've had work done in there, and they've not had any issues. So, somebody is running water at this time. So, and because there's multiple units, they are running water. So there was a branch line just there, and we're going to start to pull back now. One of the things I've noticed in this Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu place, this is the biggest thing I want to hammer on, is that the toilets are low-flow, pressure-assisted toilets. They are great for water conservation. They are not great at all for the flow of water whenever there is sewage and paper in the flush. What happens is that the water moves way too fast, and it's way too little water to push the sewage and the paper out, and then it gets left behind. So what I did is I did a little experiment, and I flushed a little, see, just like that, a little bit of paper. My camera might be in the way, that also might have restricted that paper. I will flush that out, that's fine. But around the 20-foot mark, which would put me right at the salon, whenever I flush a little bit of paper, probably like, a normal amount somebody would wipe with, I flushed that twice in each toilet, and the paper got stuck around the 20-foot mark. That kind of confirms my theory that I believe that the flow of the toilets is not good, and we can also maybe consider the fact that there may be some user error. Maybe there's somebody who's training, who's flushing too much, maybe flushing wet wipes, maybe flushing feminine hygiene products. That will definitely cause a backup with low flow and the amount of turns we have. As far as I've seen, we did go from cast to ABS around the 60-foot mark. This ABS It looks good. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no cracks. There's no breaks. There's no bellies. I think there was a little bit of standing water at one point, but it's so minor it can't be the problem. I really believe that it's a user error and low flow issue. So my recommendation is to, one, have laminated sheets telling tenants to be mindful of only flushing toilet paper, just in case somebody is flushing something they're not supposed to. Sanitary wipes could also be something that might be causing an issue. But I do recommend getting new toilets. And really, I think that the normal American Standard Cadet at Home Depot is probably your best bet. It is either a 1.25 gallon flush or a 1.6. I believe it's 1.25 now. And that is going to be about 3 times as much water flow. But that will definitely help toilet paper and sewage from normal use flowing the way that it needs to. So I'm about to pull back out of the stuff. I'm working in the utility room. This is where I camera from. This is Rough Ends. The bathrooms are next to me. So to kind of go through, we go to the salon. We're now underneath the salon. We kind of take a turn. We do meet up with the bathrooms. Whenever you flush the bathrooms, they flow at the 7-foot mark. So then we turn again. Now we're heading towards all the other tenants. And so right here, when you flush the toilets in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu place, you see the connections on the left and the top side. That is where the water from the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu place comes. And when you flush water, or flush the paper, with those low-flow toilets, it was getting hung up right around this section. And as you can see, the drain's fine. So I don't think it's a drain issue. I think it's a flow and user error issue. So hopefully this answers all the questions that you may have. I'm sorry I can't go past the 60-foot mark. If you would like to see the rest of the building that's not having issues cameraed, I would have to go into those units and pull the toilet and camera from there, but I wouldn't see anything up here. So any other questions, you can feel free to give Garvin Sewer Service a call. There will be some of this information also texted out on the invoice. Other than that, my name is Caleb. Thank you for your time.